Hey, Casey Ho fam, how are you? This is the professor. I hope all is well. I have a video here. It's called The World Media Finally Accepts India as a Superpower. It's about time.
Growth has been downgraded. Emerging economies aren't growing as fast as many leaders and policymakers expected. There's a lot of volatility in commodity markets, and financial turbulence still persists. But there is one bright spot in the global economy, and that is India. India is now the world's fastest growing major economy and has outpaced China. Now, if we look at India's GDP figures, India is currently growing at an annual rate at around 7.5% per annum. And according to both the World Bank and the IMF, the country is expected to maintain that 7.5% growth for the next 2 years. Now, a lot of the growth in India has been driven by private consumption, a pickup in industrial activity, increased private investment, and all those lower energy prices around the world have actually been helping the economy. Now, economic growth in India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership has a lot of political pundits wondering whether India could be the world's next superpower. The country still faces a lot of challenges. So to talk more about this, I sat down with World Bank's chief economist for South Asia, Martin Rama, and I started by asking Rama, what are some of the factors that have really been behind India's economic growth?
First is the demographic transition. This is a country where there are increasingly young people coming into the labor force, fewer kids relative to the people in working ages. And even for a constant productivity, if the productivity of a worker does not change, the fact that you have more people working, and that helps a lot. Second is, I think the entire region, India with it, is reaping the benefits from education, investments in education. So the average education of the workforce is increasing, so the same people are now more skilled. And then, very importantly, there is the urbanization process, which is a big transformation. People are moving out of agriculture into cities. Cities in South Asia are messy, they could be more productive, but they are still more productive than being in agriculture. Now, on top of that, there are other things happening. I think the decline in oil prices helped India, helped South Asia. This is the region that benefited the most from cheap oil prices because it is a big importer of oil.
Now, India's economy may be growing fast, but what's growing even faster is skepticism surrounding that 7.5% GDP growth figure. Many economists say that idle factories, sagging exports, troubled banks could perhaps indicate that that figure is somewhat exaggerated. Do you share in that skepticism?
No. For the following reason. India has a very strong statistical institute. So I'm sure, as in any developing country, as in any industrial country, we can have quibbles with the way things are measured. I think the problem with India is not to know whether 7.5 or 7.4 is the true figure, is to know whether India could do, as China did, double-digit growth.
Many economists say that if India continues on this growth path, it could become the world's next superpower. Do you think that that is achievable, say, in perhaps the next decade?
No, I don't think so. I think on a longer...
Yeah, okay. Well, it goes on and on and on here. What's the takeaway from this? Well, here's a couple takeaways from this. Currently, the American economy is not growing at all. We are either having negative growth or no growth. Our economy is shrinking. Now, people will point to and say, no, the Department of Economics has come out and released these. We were growing at 0.5% or whatnot. Those numbers are pretty much faked. They fudged the numbers. And it's not, this isn't just a Barack Obama thing that Barack Obama fudged the numbers that we have. All the presidents fudged the numbers. And it's really unfortunate because, it's like, if you can't be honest with the little things, how are you going to be honest with big things? The fact that India, when this video was made, is growing at 7%, that is an amazing amount of growth for how big the economy already is. I mean, that is... as far as an economic indicator, good things ahead for the land of India, good things ahead for the Indian friends that we have here that live there. I think you're going to see unbridled opportunity to really kind of advance yourself and get some kind of economic security, I think. Now, I don't know necessarily how that translates, because you can have an economy growing at 7%, which means companies are making money pretty good, but they don't pass that. They don't share the profits with their workers, and that's kind of how you get into unionized efforts, where the unions kind of step in. I'd be curious to know from you, my Indian friends, what is the job market like for India? Is it pretty easy for a young 21, 22-year-old Indian person to go get a job that has a future, or is it difficult? I would love to hear that thought from you guys. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. That way you can stay up to date in all of our latest videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.